going back and looking at the different speeches I've given is actually pretty interesting to me. Some of the things that I figured I was strong on, it didn't surprise me too much. I mean, I did well on what I thought I would, but lots of the things that I thought I was doing well on, I didn't do as well as I thought. So the four speeches I'll be talking about will be my biography speech, the source citation speech, the informative speech, and then the infomercial. So the earliest one was our formal biography speech. When I did well, I thought I did well was the extemporaneous. I would feel like I was having a conversation, which isn't too hard whenever you're talking about yourself. But I still think I did that pretty well. I went through the book pretty hardcore on this one. I made sure the intro and the 4S and the conclusion were all in place. And I worked hard on that, and I think it turned out pretty well. As far as what I did wrong, though, I definitely talked too fast and mumbled through it. Um, I said or too much, which I just did a little bit as well. I'll try to prevent it later in the speech. Um, but those are pretty much two of the things that I did wrong there. And the talking too fast and the mumbling is something I've always had trouble with, and something I still need to do more and more work on. It's just not a conscious thing. I need to make a conscious effort to stop. So next we'll talk about our source citation speech. I enjoyed this speech because it was over a topic I liked, English actors that we have in the U.S. that people don't realize are English or British. I made good eye contact through the entire speech. I knew the topic pretty decently, but going back and looking through it, I noticed that it wasn't as smooth as I would like it to be. It didn't sound extemporaneous. I sounded like I was reading off a script a little bit. I was using words that I don't think I normally would have used. So I could work on that a little more. The informative speech um, over the wildfires was something I knew really well. I knew that topic very well before I even began working on it. So it was pretty easy to sound extemporaneous and just have a chat about something I knew well. I used good gestures because I'm visually picturing what I've seen. I hit my key points well. I transitioned with 4 key points well. I think I concluded pretty good. Um, I did notice, though, going back and looking at it, that same as before, I started off talking too fast, although I did slow it down later in the speech. And I used one term that I didn't realize I used that may not have been clear to everyone else. I explained other terms, but there was one term I didn't explain that people may not have understood. And then last, I'll talk about the infomercial speech. I thought I had did better on eye contact until I looked at it, and for some reason I just wasn't maintaining eye contact through that speech. So I looked down at my notes too much. So I probably just making sure I hit all those points, but still I could have done better on that. Although it did sound extemporaneous, I did sound like I was, which I was really just thinking about one of those oh Billy Mays commercials and just trying to emphasize how he would do it. But as far as commonalities go, I think I do a pretty good of talking extemporaneously, like I'm having a conversation anytime I'm on there talking, or in class, and it's easier for me to talk that way than it is for me to try to remember everything on the script. Um, I've always been made sure I'm really prepared when I go in there. Even before I went into class, I was sitting in the car for 2 hours, rereading that speech a million times until I thought I had it pretty good. And I've never been, even though I talk too fast, nervousness was never an issue with me. So those are the things that I'm pretty consistently good on. The bad, obviously, though, is I talk too fast and I mumble. As I said, that's something I need to consciously work on. And then using also another thing I need to consciously work on, and that I will be working on and trying to improve in the future and do better on. But overall, I've actually learned a whole lot and enjoyed quite a bit of it, especially on topics that I know a lot about and get to learn more about. So, yeah, thanks.